Hi, my name is Bill Reid. Sometimes things are just meant to be in your life, and especially that moment when you undergo challenges or issues that you may not understand why. This is my story, how it unfolded, and why I'm here today representing the Dryden Area Hockey Canada Skills Academy and seeking potential funding. I need to spend about 2 or 3 minutes explaining how and why I ended up here at this podium. First off, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to the Dryden Rotary Charity Foundation for allowing me to be part of this at the presentation. I've lived in Dryden for most of my life, and however, during my high school years, left town to go to Kenora, to go to school, play hockey for the Kenora Thistles of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. After graduation from high school, I pursued a post-secondary education at the University of Michigan. I was offered an athletic scholarship and gladly accepted the offer. My upbringing and educational pathway led me into the sciences field, in which I received my Bachelor of Science in Environmental Resource Management. Following graduation, I then worked in the Dryden Woodlands for several years. What a great place to work. Excellent workforce, great people. I see people right now like Bill Reid, who was there at that time, as well as several other people, Rody Swan and other people within the room here. It was excellent. Unfortunately, in 2007, with the global downturn, my position was severed. I was no longer employed. For anyone who has lost their job, you can relate. For others who have never lost a job, it's well beyond life changer. In the meantime, I had 5 wonderful kids, coached soccer, hockey, baseball during that time frame. I supported the community with lots of volunteering to enhance our great city of Dryden and paid it forward as best I could. As a child in Dryden, I had several great coaches and volunteers to enhance my pathway in life, and I was determined to do the same thing for the new generation of children in our community. But lots of tough times during this segment of my life. However, adversity seems to bring out the best in me. This is where perseverance had to be at the forefront of my life. I was looking at a new career and had to make a decision which made sense for me at that time. The thing that made sense was I enjoyed school, I liked coaching, and furthermore I had a passion for hockey. After talking to a few friends, and especially my sister Alana, who taught for 30 years, I was heading to Lakehead University for an education degree. Initially, it was a very difficult move. I had a two-year-old daughter at home who had one-on-one attention all day long because I was a stay-at-home dad at that point. However, in retrospect, this was one of the best moves of my entire life. I attended Lakehead in the fall of 2009 and received my Bachelor of Education in June. The Keewatin-Patricia District School Board hired me immediately, and I began working in the fall of 2010. Thank you, Deanna, for that. In my first year, I covered maternity leave for an entire school year. For the next 4 years, I was in a gym-based position. It was called leadership, where we'd take kids into the gym for physical education activities. This is my kind of a job. I kept kids busy, healthy, and active. At the end of my 4-year stint in the job, I was called in by the superintendent for a meeting. She said my leadership position was coming to an end. I was somewhat disappointed because I recognize kids these days need exercise and more physical education. However, she then proceeded to ask me if I was interested in teaching the hockey academy. Very calmly, I claimed it was one of those questions where I was kind of shocked, but what I said to her is, I've done a lot of things in my life and I'm fairly diverse. I was just thinking coaching is something I've been doing for 20 years. So in the back of my mind, I couldn't believe this was happening. This is kind of like one of those dream jobs. So I walked out of the meeting, I thought, wow, sometimes things are just meant to be. So I lost my job at the mill, which was troubling. It was very tough on me. But I ended up in a position where I was going to be coaching in the academy. So this was the start of the hockey academy for me in Dryden. Hockey serves as a replacement for the physical education curriculum in the school setting. Furthermore, hockey acts as the driver, which enhances student engagement in the classroom. In the fall of 2015, I started with a grade 7-8 class with 25 students. We had non-skaters in the program, and we had other well-seasoned veterans, so a good mix. We were on the ice 3 times a week from September 10th until the end of March. My kids embraced the program and were focused on the academic curriculum to a T. Simply put, if their schoolwork wasn't completed, they did not go on the ice that day. Academics was and still is the main focus. At the end of March, we go to the rec center through April and May to do dryland training. This provides my students the opportunity for learning about a healthy lifestyle at a grade 7 age range. The real-life benchmark of my student success is how responsible and respectful they were when we went on the grade 8 Toronto trip. This was a reflection for myself in terms of how well I had prepared the kids for a totally different setting. This is a real-life setting, and seeing how these kids reacted to a different environment. Toronto's a big city, and we did give the students some flexibility and freedom to do their things. I was elated. They're on task all the time, on time for the activities, and like I say, never late. I was so proud of them for this. It was a real banner year that year. We had lots of media coverage, CBC TV, CBC Radio, Shaw Cable, Q104, Dryden Observer, CKDR. We did get a lot of media attention. The Academy had a great inaugural year and gained attention as a well-known specialized educational program in our community. However, in 2016, we opened the Academy up for grades 4 to 12, and the student numbers literally exploded. We went from 25 students up to 125. That's just in Dryden. That's a lot of students. Of course, at this point, our costs increased substantially. We always thank our local supporters who provide funding to keep our Academy moving forward. Canadian Tire, Jumpstart, the local people, just local citizens have provided funding for us over the last few years. Unfortunately, when the program increases by 5 times, costs are challenging to meet and sustain. Ice time and travel costs are extreme. But think about that young child out there in our community who has never skated and doesn't have the financial back to be part of the program. This is where the Dryden Rotary Charity Foundation can come into play with the Academy. We do need equipment for our kids, and it is not part of the KPDSB budget. I see it every single day. Mr. Reid, I need a hockey stick. Mr. Reid, my skates are too tight. Mr. Reid, can you take my skates over to Mr. Kouse's and get them sharpened? Like, you didn't believe the questions we get, but this all costs money, and there's not a real budget for a lot of that stuff. This is where your organization will fill the needs for our kids in the community to thrive. The bare minimum to get a kid suited up, and it would be $500, and that's really cutting corners. It's nothing to spend $3,000 on hockey equipment. But for $500, you might be able to get some bare bone equipment. A coworker and I went through the logistics recently, and we figure we have about 40 Hockey Canada Skills Academy students who are in dire need of equipment. A recent email sent out from our principal to the parent and guardian stated, any grade 3 students who want to join the Academy next year need their parents and guardians to call the office. Let the secretary know if your child doesn't have equipment. Okay, this is a reality. If we don't have equipment for these kids, and again about 33%, they will never be part of this program. So these are some of the advantages of any students being in part of our Hockey Canada Skills Academy. They're on the ice at least twice a week and are being trained by qualified coaches. They're learning to live a healthy lifestyle through exercise and active living. Most students, as we all know, live very sedentary lifestyles in today's society. The Academy kids are kept fairly active. Also, we encourage them to be part of extracurricular teams such as volleyball, soccer, baseball, badminton, etc. In my first year of the Academy, I had 25 students. When we went to play extracurricular sports such as soccer, basically my entire class would go. The students, especially the ones who don't play hockey or can't afford to play hockey, get to be part of a team concept. Another advantage, the students must maintain grades, so they are intrinsically driven to ensure academics come first. We encourage all grade 8 New Prospect students and the Academy group to get 5 to 10 volunteer hours in the community. This provides them the initiative to start volunteering before they get to high school, where they need to get 40 hours of volunteering to graduate. A lot of my kids right now, they go out and they assist the ice dogs after the warm-up and during Chuck-a-Puck. I'm not sure if we've got a lot of people here who go to the ice dogs games, but if you see those kids out there, those are my kids. Well, they're my students, I should say, but they are kind of like my kids. Time management, that's another thing the kids learn. It's a major factor that they learn to follow. When we have to leave to go to hockey at 1 o'clock, that's the time you have to be on the bus, okay? Rarely do the kids come out late, because if they don't get on the bus in time, they'll be back at school by themselves, okay? And their whole group's gone. So they've learned to get on the bus on time, and after they get done on the ice at about 2:45, they get back on the bus in time, and we head back to school. Attendance at school has increased with the Hockey Canada Skills Academy. In Sioux Lookout, when they first started, it was recorded as high as a 25% increase, which is phenomenal. In Dryden, it would not be that high, I know that for sure, but it's still, any increase is a positive. The program started in Kenora in 2012 with a group of 23 students at Beaver Brae. The target area included honor students and kids who enjoyed hockey. 4 of the students were considered at risk within the group. Of those 23 students, 22 of them went on to graduate. This is tremendous success. Some of the successes we've had. There are too many to discuss, but here are a few of them. Athletically, if my students never ever play a game of hockey in their life, they've learned to skate. And this is a lifelong learning that they can take into their future. Some of my students who have never played hockey before now do play league hockey. Several of my kids who are now in high school are doing off-ice training, treadmills, and weights, which is just a transition going back from what I'll say I taught them when they were in grade 7. They're in the high school now, and it's kept going, so hopefully it's going to be a lifelong learning for them. One of my students has now been invited to an NCAA hockey showcase in Boston this summer. He'll present his skills to about 30 Eastern universities such as Holy Cross, Princeton, and Yale. I was proud to hear about his invitation because it involved schooling and academics. Not even the hockey component, just the schooling part of it. So this kid, what a great kid, and what a great opportunity for him. One of my favorite successes is a young girl who is in my academy in grades 7 and 8. She's now in grade 9 and has never played a game of hockey in her entire life, but helped my PE team all year long. She moved pucks, she moved pylons, worked with me during my drills, and she did statistics for me. In the one winter, she got her 40 hours already for high school. Amazing. And I've already got kids lined up for next year. I've got a few kids who've asked me already if they can come and help out again, and I'll do the same thing as long as it works out for them. I can go on, but I'll stop here and hopefully answer a few questions. As you can see, we have a program that is working and is well known in the community. We foresee more growth, and that just means more financial obligations in order to meet the needs of our kids. If we're fortunate to receive funding, our young students will seize the opportunity for growth in life, learning to maintain their academics, living a healthy lifestyle, and learning the skills to play the game of hockey. Thank you so much for allowing me to present the information for the Dryden Area Hockey Canada Skills Academy. Thank you.
One of the greatest things I think about the Hockey Skills Academy is a lot of our kids who've never had opportunities are now getting them.
They are.
That couldn't afford it, parents couldn't do anything with it. So that to me is always exciting when I see those kids that have never had those opportunities being able to participate. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your passion. And I think we have a check here.
Oh my goodness. Wow. This is excellent. This will allow us to get a lot of equipment that we do need for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.